Black Power family, it's just Say Ramen Tep back at you again with Giza Studios. Just in Giza Studios, about to play Mfundishi, Grandmaster Teacher, about to drop some facts. There you go.
That guided us. And I talk about before there was Moses, there was Ma'at. Do they see that? Before there was Moses, there was and Moses is the so-called lawgiver of the Hebrew people. They didn't have no laws before Moses. Okay? So if you believe he existed, okay, which is probably a fairy tale, but everything that they had claimed to Moses comes from ancient Kemet because they said Moses was a priest in ancient Kemet.
Right, they're going to say your teacher and our teacher, Dr. Ben, says that Abraham existed.
Well, if they did, then all their knowledge still comes out of Kemet. So all roads still going to lead back to the Nile Valley. Go ahead. Here. So I love this part here. This will help a lot of people.
What's up?
I'm just going to take some general stuff. When I say you're upside down, inside out, and backwards, and everything you think you know has to be relearned, are you looking through the world through your cultural eyes? See, the Hebrew Israelites are not. Christians are not. If you're a black Christian, you're not looking through at the world through African eyes. If you're a Buddhist, you're not looking at the world through African eyes. If you're into Hinduism, you're not looking at the world through African eyes. If you're into any of those religions, you're not looking at the world through Dr. Amos Wilson used to say, we see ourselves through the eyes of our oppressor. And that's where the self-hate comes from. We're not looking at ourselves from an ancestral spirit. Okay.
Is it all right to take questions now, or you want to wait?
Let me just do this, and then I'll take questions. Yes. Yes, I'll take some questions. Okay. Okay. Watch this. Oh, no, go back. Oh, can you go back? Okay. I want to do this because this is elementary. Watch this here. This shows you how other people have bamboozled our legacy. So even if you think you're studying ancient Egypt and you think you went to the library, you got all the books, you listen to the tapes and the DVDs.
Right.
Look at here. The first word, Egypt. That has nothing to do with ancient Kemet. That's a Greek word. That's a bastardization. Our word was, remember I said, here's the word right here. Kemet. Okay? The black community. Okay, all right? Or we use Tamari, the beloved land.
The Moors always say, how can you call
They don't read Madun.
no land called
They don't read the Madun Necha. I'm going back to then. Read the Madun Necha means the divine words of the Creator.
They don't count. They're in the common
That's what the
era.
Greeks call hieroglyphics.
Right. So we're dealing with ancient time. We're dealing before the word Moors came into existence. Okay. So now, Pharaoh. They were talking about Pharaoh. Pharaoh is not a Kemetic word. Nobody in ancient Kemet before the Greeks called their ruler the Pharaoh.
Right.
Which means comes from the word per-ah, the great house. We didn't call ourselves the house. When Obama comes to town, you don't say the White House is coming to town. You
Right.
say President Barack Obama is coming to town.
Right.
Okay? So, Pharaoh, a misnomer. Get rid of that word. It's the Nasut Biti, the Sarah, the Shemsu Haru, the Nebtawi. Okay? All right, so we need
They
to...
have to explain why. They're in Genesis. They have to explain that.
Yeah, because their Genesis is being written in this common era when the Greeks, they're getting information from the Greeks as opposed to the Medunecha. Okay. A cartouche. A cartouche is a French word that talks about a bullet. So when they saw this elliptical orbit like this here, circular, they said, the French, when Napoleon came, when Alexander came, they said, oh, that looks like a cartridge bullet. So now we go to Egypt talking about, I want my name in a cartouche. No, it's a shin. A shin. An elliptical orbit where the sun, where you rule every place the sun goes.
And that says, Eman had to say.
Right. Excellent. And you see where he's saying here, so he did the Iman first, but I would do the Hatshepsut Iman first. Right. Now, hieroglyphics. We don't have hieroglyphics. We have Madun Necha. See, you can't let other people define yourself. Sphinx. This guy is not a sphinx. That's a mythological creature with wings that will kill you if you don't know the riddle.
Now,
Greek
It has
mythology.
nothing to do with Haru M. Aketi.
Right.
is the proper name Hiramakit?
No, Hiramakit is people who couldn't read the Medunecha broke it down wrong.
So this is not the Sphinx.
No, That's Haru M. Aketi.
And it's also not Haramaki, which means Haru is on the horizon.
Right. See, Haru was on the horizon is not Harmakis.
Okay.
They broke the word down wrong. This is somebody who didn't know grammar. So they got the right words, right? And they broke it up wrong. It's like I can take you wrong of my name if I break it up wrong. If you give me the board, I can write it down there. Okay, bring it here.
You gotta say to your brother.
I'll just leave it there, something like this here. So they would go her, ma, ket, Harmakis. But it's Haru, M, ket. Okay, so they had the right word, but because they didn't know grammar, and Budge is guilty of this. Budge said a lot of words, knew the meaning of the word, but broke them up because he was not that in depth in the Kemetic grammar, which was developed on a higher level after Budge. Budge wrote the book, the Pert M. Haru, in 1895.
Can I see the board real quick?
So, and again, so the key here is that because they didn't know Medu Neter grammar, you took the real word and broke it up and said it, so you just said Hamak, as opposed to Haru M. Akit.
So that's what that is. That's
Right.
Haru M. Aketi.
Right. Okay. So again, so we're not like talking bad about our scholars who are using this, because I know Oswald Crazy uses this, a couple other people uses this. No, they got the right words, they just pronouncing it wrong because they don't know Coptic, they don't know Medu Neter, as a written language. Yeah, some of our brothers like that. Right.
And I'll put some of our great teachers, like our greatest teacher, Dr. Yosef Ben Jochanan, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not known for translating the Meta Neter, but he knows what exists.
Right.
And he produces students to go better and do it better than him, like you.
Right.
So
And
he produced you.
in fact, Dr. Ben used to still use the Greek words when we were there, but he said, I don't want you doing it. I want you to find the real glyphs. So that's what I'm doing. I'm following. I'm behind our elders.
Just like you are here teaching, and I'm far under you. But if you just miss something,
Then you're here to catch
then
that.
I'm here to catch it or ask the question.
Correct. Okay, and last, Nile means nothing in Arabic and stuff like that. Nile is the longest, the ancient name is Hapi. Not the Nile River, it's the Hapi River. Hapi of the north, Hapi of the south. The longest river in the world. And it,
By two people.
right, and it doesn't flow up north, it flows down north from up south. So, see, we're changing people's whole paradigm. Mummy is an Arabic word. There was no mummies in ancient Kemet.
Right.
Mummy comes from the word mumia, which is a sap, a glue, used to hold the white linen together. It's called a sa. So the mummy, what they call a mummy, was called a sa or the sahu. Pyramid, Greek, a pie, a cake. Our word is mirkut. It is an instrument of fire.
So
The triangle.
miracle.
Right,
Mirkut.
mirkut.
That's what the real pyramid.
Okay.
Man, Sabia.
Right.
Mirkut.
Text.
And we
Right.
use coffin text where we say caress.
The Kares Sabiat.
Right.
All right. So, and the last one down here, many gods. We already dealt with that. Those attributes going along the side at the bottom, those are not gods. They represent principles and laws. Let me ask the readers. Flashback again. Is gravity a god? No. Does gravity care whether you believe in it or not? No. Does gravity care whether you're black or white? Does gravity care what your sexual gender is? It affects all of us. That's the way these principles are. They don't care whether you believe it or not. All science, all mathematics, all principles are based upon these so-called deities, but they are Neteru. They just represent principles of laws that govern the planet. It's a scientific, it's scientific language. I explained science and spirituality that you can see.
See, this is something that the Hebrews can never get with. When they say, oh, no, y'all believe in many gods.
Yeah.
We just believe in one God. Y'all have many gods.
One science, one creative force. We just have it like chemistry, biology, right? When you separate chemistry, biology, right, and all the rest of the sciences, right? That's what we do. When we're talking about a particular group of scientific notation, we might say ray. If we're talking about something else, we might say atom. But it is the total science is one science.
Right. See, let me say this here. There's another scholar. He has a book called The Golden Apple, and he talks about symptomatic thought and symbolic thought. Those people who are arguing only know symbolic thought, so they don't know why the symbol means that. They only know what was attributed to that symbol. We, and as people who Kemetu pre-scientists. So that's why I'm a Kemetu, an African Kemet pre-scientist. We learn symptomatic thought first. Symptomatic means it is what it is, concretely, right? And now that I know what it is concretely, now I can add a symbolic thought to that. So I can't be bamboozled because I know the origins of it. See, the people who are saying, oh man, you worshiping so-and-so, they don't know the origin of that thought. They only know that it's a symbol, and they don't understand the symptomatic concept. See, the world right now is being controlled by symbolic thought. And Hitler used the swastika sign. That was a beautiful sign in Africa. That was a beautiful sign used by the Ghanaians. That was a sign used in ancient Kemet. That was a sign used by the ancient indigenous Native Americans. And it meant brotherhood and oneness and bond. And Hitler turned it around. So now if you only know symbolic thought, and you see Hitler's swastika, and now you see it on the Kemet wall, you say, see? You know, they were worshiping, the white folks and all of that. But they don't, that's only symbolic thought. They didn't know the symptomatic thought. See, when Hitler got turned on to Kemet, he even changed the national symbol of Hitler, of Germany, to the falcon.
Let me ask you the author's name is
From Heru.
Yeah, Edgar Ribbon, right.
This nigga Hitler stole
Look at
the
that
symbol.
the second symbol up
From
here.
Heru. Wow.
Second symbol right here. See the Ankh in the center, right? So, this is showing the Medu Neter being written in both directions. Here, it says Ankh Nasut Biti. That means the living ruler of Upper and Lower Kemet. But then it says the same thing going in the opposite direction. Ankh Nasut Biti. The living ruler of Upper and Lower Kemet. Life, living, eternal life. Because life cannot be destroyed. The feminine principle, the male principle, and the children. No homosexuality in that. That's the centerpiece next to Ma'at in our, spiritual system.
Right.
See, they also, because he only knows symbolic, he's dealing with spookism and mythology, right? That's not based upon something. Look at this cat. All right, now bring the camera back here. I want to ask our audience, when you see a black cat pass your path, what do you think?
Bad luck.
We had bad luck. Reggie? Off the bat, not based upon your comedic knowledge, right? When you see the black cat pass your path,
something's gonna happen.
You think something's gonna happen?
I messed up.
That shows you that you've been bamboozled from the Western world.
That's right.
Guess what? When a black cat passes your cross in front of you, it means that animal is going somewhere. That's all it means. If a black cat passes you, it means he's going somewhere.
Ain't no evil shit about that. It's just a cat.
Right. It has nothing to do with some superstition or nothing.
Right.
Here's the next one. The Nasut Biti, rulers of the United Two Lands, or Semitawi, or Tameri, or ancient Kemet. And so here I'm showing clearly pictures of the rulers. We're not making something up. They can't show you nobody in the Bible that they really existed.
Right.
The Hebrews are veggie backing on top of Catholicism. But they can't show you or produce the bones of anybody that exists in that book. Here, this is Narmer. We have his gravesite. He's the founder of the first golden age. This is Khufu. He is the person that Imhotep built. He is the great pyramid, the largest pyramid in Kemet.
Giza.
So that's Khufu, and his pyramid is called Khufu Im Aket. Okay. Here, this is Menchu Hotep, the founder of the second golden age. Here, all of these are people in the first golden age. The first golden age. And European, they had the clown from Harvard, Skippy Gates, come on television and say that the black Africans only came in the 25th dynasty. And then he bring 3 white Egyptologists in to say, oh yes, we had some black kings in the 25th
Wow.
dynasty from Kush. Who are these guys?
Wow.
If he's not black, tell me what is he? If he's not an African, if he's not, who are these people?
Now, the Hebrews,
Right.
they do symbolic thought.
That's
right?
symbolic thought without knowing symptomatic thought. Okay, so that leads in there. Here's Masut Hemet Weret Tayi. Right. So, Queen, I want to say this, my brother. We should stop calling our rulers in ancient Kemet the females queens. Queen is a European terminology, which means the whore of the king.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know we're trying to give our women accolades and good things by saying our queen, but no, that's a Western terminology. She is the Hemet Nasut Weret, which means the great royal wife. Or sometimes they'll say the Hemet Nasut Weret, the mother of the Netzaru. All right, so here, look at Akhenaten. This is her son, Akhenaten. Okay, Akhenaten is his correct name. All right, and look, this is Amen. So when people say amen at the end of their prayers, look how black he is. He's depicted there. Okay, so Moors don't want to use black. Look. So don't use the word black. Use the word Kemet then. Kim.
Right.
Right.
Kill me.
So everybody, you don't want to use the word black. Say Kim and think of that. Okay. And then here we have Kepler Ma'atmra.
Your brother.
That's not Horus down there at the bottom?
No, that's just Horus behind him.
Oh, okay.
This the second largest pyramid is built by him. His consciousness. See, the falcon also represents higher consciousness.
Right. The
So
Falcon,
he's trying to
Heru.
show you that his high consciousness is with a falcon. Look, again, this is the person that the step pyramids is built for. He's not a brother. Look at that. The Zoser or Netriket. Right. Okay, look. Huni. Look at all these people.
Honey,
These are
yep.
all black people. Look. Tanak Ahmed. Here, look, that guy's he's not a brother?
Yeah, Tankar Kame.
Okay.
Black.
And then they try to say because his legs are so big, the Europeans say he had elephantitis. No, he wears the same size shoe that Shaq wear. Okay, so if he got
was tall.
elephantitis, Shaq got elephantitis. Okay, go ahead. They shot the noses off
Right.
and still can't hide the black truth.
Right. That's what
And so
I'm
it
saying.
shows you here, if you go to the museums, you'll see all the noses knocked off. But
Right.
look, it's obviously, these are all African people. And all of these are before the 25th dynasty. So I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to say blacks came only in the 25th dynasty. Look at this, the Zoser again. Look at his profile. Okay. Hatshepsut Aman being depicted as the ruler of ancient Kemet. So we gave homage to our women. Not like these other groups. Christianity took the woman out. We have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I don't know what happened to the mother.
Right.
Okay? In Judaism, the woman got to stand behind them. They can't
Right.
be put out in front.
Right.
Here we show African women actually ruled the country. This was during the Kushite 25th dynasty. We have one of the great royal women. No, she is a...
She's fit to rule like a man.
Right.
She's depicted in this, but she's not always depicted like that.
Right. Here she has breasts and is depicted in a very feminine manner. Right. And then here she's depicted in a masculine, showing that she has the same power.
Except for her thighs.
Right.
Except for her thighs, right?
Okay. Here she's depicted in the Haru Im Aketi style. So each of the rulers also depicted themselves, starting from the first golden age all the way to the Greeks, shown here. But look at here. Oh, that was Hatshepsut temple. That's Hatshepsut Iman's temple. This is the sister here. This is her mortuary temple. Next to it over here, she was copying her temple off of Menchu Hotep, who had his temple over here. But go ahead. Look at these brothers. This is the second golden age. This is the 12th dynasty. Look, these are not Africans. Look at, he got big Rastafarian locks. Look, these brothers are so African that the Europeans said, we don't know who they are.
Right.
We just know they...
You know they go against locks too.
Yeah, okay.
You don't supposed to have locks.
You're supposed to wear your hair any way you want to.
They wear
Right.
locks, they just cover it up. Most of them, look at some of the teachers that's walking around. They got locks. Look at them. So let's keep it moving.
Okay, keep
That's
it
it, Father. And that's you with mental
I'll
health.
throw it to
This is me.
He's probably watching too. Zoriak is
Right. This is me standing next to Mentuhotep, the founder of the second golden age, so-called 11th dynasty, and their family
Knowledge
by
itself.
Inwaset, coming from ancient Kush.
Hotep.